Right, this is going to be a blog where I basically talk about wrestling. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can on this one because I basically have various things that I'd like to put on here, and that would basically show wrestling figures that I basically have a collection of. I'm not going to show all of them, but so many of them. So first of all, basically, when the original WWF figures came out, after the first year or so, they did release very miniature figures. Now you probably wouldn't know this. I don't know who made them or much about them, but I do remember going on holiday and finding that they did 2 packs basically containing a entirely Big Boss Man and British Barber briefcase. You had Jimmy Fly Snooker, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan. I don't know that one. It might be Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but I could be wrong. Akeem, $1 Million Man, The Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, and of course the Bushwhackers. The best wrestling figures in my opinion, apart from the WWF ones, were actually WCW, the original series. They actually looked a bit like this. You couldn't bend them or anything, but they had a great ring to go with it, with the steel cage and that's Arn Anderson, or you can have Sting, wonderful Brian Flying Pillman, and of course Ric Flair. I've got loads of the WCW ones, and of course Ric Flair and the WWF one. You put the wrestler's head under there and basically twist that around, and he would kill him with his, you know. And they did release some WCW ones years after, and they weren't as good like the NWO ones that they did of Hollywood Hogan and Sting, and some WF ones a bit like that, and I don't think they were really that great, and I think WCW just went down the pan because it was good, and then of course you had NWO Takeover and all this shit, and I never really did like it then. So on to the WWF figures, which I have nearly all of them, apart from Giant Gonzalez, Ravishing Rick Rude, Dusty Rhodes, the original Greg the Hammer Valentine, which I really want, and the green coloured card, which I don't think they came out of this country because I didn't see them in the shops, and they were Ludwig Borger, Adam Bomb, and 123 Kid, which would have been brilliant, and I'm not sure whether there was a few others, but they were brilliant if I was able to have them. I never bought them twice, not like you had Hulk Hogan come out and then about 2 years later you had another Hulk Hogan which was different. I never bothered doing that with WWF figures because I didn't think it was worth it. Just buying one was good enough for me. So, on to some of the great ones of that time. Doink the Clown. Brilliant, I loved him. And the wonderful Honky Tonk Man with his guitar. I thought he was a good wrestler, because back in the day you had like bad and good. See, today's wrestling's not as good because they don't really have bad and good. A wrestler would not be deemed a bad wrestler or a good wrestler, but back in the old days you had pretty much the bad and good, so therefore all the good guys always fighted the bad guys. The bad guys would always cheat because they'd have managers and that to try and win the match, and that people like Earthquake. And sometimes the bad guy would turn into a good guy, or vice versa. They've done that many times. Some of them only ever became just bad guys, some only ever good guys. British Bulldog, who I had the pleasure of meeting once. My favourite tag team of all time. You can't not like these. The wonderful Axe and Smash of Demolition, or Crush. The wonderful Rockers with Marty Jannetty, and of course Shawn Michaels. Did like him until he went a bit crazy, a bit bad guy, and there's obviously Shawn Michaels there. Anybody remember this one? Nails. And no, he wasn't hard as nails. But it was a good... It wasn't too bad. Akeem. Ah, the Ultimate Warrior. And you know what? I remember some good things about him. I really do. Ah, the fat bastard as we call him. Yokozuna. Who actually got slammed once by Lex Luger. Amazing that was. Oh, the Tartan Terror. Okay then, Rowdy Roddy Piper. And who else have we got? Aha. Does anybody remember some of these wrestlers? Because you think you know some of them, and then you think, do you know what? That takes me back. Bam Bam Bigelow. Mr. Perfect. He wasn't always perfect. Andre the Giant, which he actually did have a manager, Bobby Heenan, and then he went into a good guy because he said to Bobby Heenan, I don't need your help. One of the best things I've ever seen in wrestling was when the Rockers were fighting Orient Express in a tag team match, and the Orient Express had Mr. Fuji, and basically they thought they were going to win the match. They thought this will be it, right? The Rockers won't have any help because obviously it meant that Mr. Fuji could play a trick on them. Well, I absolutely loved it when the Rockers decided to go and get a special friend who was coming up with him in the match, and they actually went and got Andre the Giant, and when he comes down with the Rockers, and the look on the Orient Express in Mr. Fuji's face was like, oh my god. It was so funny, and there was no way they would have got away with it, because Andre the Giant would have just literally killed him. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh! Do you remember that? Do you remember the old theme tune to that, and when he used to go, oh! Texas Tornado. Sergeant Slaughter, I never did like him. Never ever did like him. Big Boss Man. Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And two of the greatest ever wrestlers to even come out of wrestling in the terms of the old WF and particularly American wrestling. The Undertaker. When he got Ultimate Warrior in a coffin, that was just brilliant. You know, that was his way of punishing everybody. Just stick him in the coffin, lock it up, and throw away the key. And he never talked too much in the old days. He used to get Paul Bearer to his manager to talk for him, basically, just telling what he was going to do to all the wrestlers that are standing in his way. So it'd be like, Paul Bearer would stand there and he'd go, oh yes, my Undertaker, when he gets in that ring against the opponents, he will demolish them, he will kill them, they won't stand a chance. Oh yes, my Undertaker. And of course the greatest ever wrestler, Bret the Hitman Hart. He was a technical wrestler. Most people would say that he couldn't really beat anybody up, that he couldn't really be the best, but he was. I mean, literally, no matter who you was, he could get you. All he had to do was make sure that he got him in the sharpshooter, and then you had no chance of even getting out of it. So yeah, that is a collection of some of my wrestling figures, and I'm sure if you'd like me to talk about wrestling again, you know, I'll be quite honoured to do so, because that's something I would like to talk about a little bit more. But there you go. I hope you liked it, and let's just say that I might, if you do want some more, I can talk a little bit more about wrestling and various things and bits and pieces. But other than that, I hope you liked it, and more blogs coming soon. Bye for now.